Okay. So the previous day we have completed up to this one, where we have seen some exceptions that if we do not find any ID that we are looking for that record, then it will be treated as an exception. That means we are doing something which should be informed back to the user. We should not return an empty record. So in that case, what we have done with a sort of a advisor, exception advisor, controller advisor, and through which can handle the exception, whatever the exception, because we do not know beforehand whether we are going to have what sort of error we are going to encounter. It is not possible to predict before we actually do some database operation, right? So that will be basically we are handling through this. Today, we are going to use the query, and the query can be designed through our domain specific language or through annotation. Now, because here we have left everything on the JPA repository to add and fetch, and we have seen a set of commands that is already inbuilt. Okay, but we are not very happy with those are simple queries. But in case there is an issue of where we need to give our own way of querying the database, then we will not be enough to handle this with this. Yeah, we will definitely use the JPA, but then we need to inform the JPA that we are going to have our own way of having some methods. Okay, so in this JPA repository, we have found that there are few inbuilt, like find all. Okay, find by ID. Now those are the things that is already get by ID. But we need to have few more functions which we will try to do it with the JPA repository. How we do that is the main thing. Let us see an example. Tell me, thus far, because you had a weekend, are you now more or less gone through all the recordings?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are you facing any difficulty if you are trying to practice those?
No.
Difficulty in the sense that the concept wise, any questions that you have, we can have a discussion. And tomorrow, specifically after I complete today's one and before I start the REST API, before we start the REST API, okay, because if we have understood up to this JPA, then understanding REST API is very simple. There is nothing much more, just some technical here and there. But up to this point, once we have completed today, up to this point, I will take a pause. That means tomorrow I will have a session, but this session will be conducted by you. I would like you to cover or give your presentation of your understanding up to Spring Data JPA. Because I would like to understand, it is a one-way traffic so far. So far it was only a one-way traffic. That is, I kept on speaking and you were trying to understand. You were practicing based on the recording. Tomorrow, I would like to, if it is taking tomorrow and day after, it is fine. Because I would like to give opportunity to each and everyone in their own way to express what you have learned thus far. That means if you can at least give me this example of Spring Data JPA and how you configure the queries. If you can explain me through your example, you can pick up the same example that was discussed in the sessions. Okay. And that I will be very happy. Will that be fine? And that will also give you a way to express your knowledge, because see, many of us have a lot of knowledge, but to deliver that knowledge is a very tough job. And if you can do that, I can promise you that is going to help you a lot in the interview. Any type of interview that you give, whether it's a JavaScript or Angular or this thing, any, because you are expressing your mind, expressing your knowledge, you have to come up. So is that a good idea? Who are the volunteers for demonstration? You can pick up any chapter, like you want to show me your understanding on what do you understand by JPA repository, or basically what is the JPA confused, what is the JPA? And somebody can show me an example of adding or fetching, maybe fetching all the records or fetching a particular record through the JPA repository, if one can display that. Someone can give me query DSL, example of a query DSL. That way you have a combination of all the people explaining their own part. I will expect, at least because today we are going to learn query DSL and query annotation. So tomorrow, because this recording might not be available by end of the day tomorrow, so at least by tomorrow, you already have this. At least by tomorrow, you can give me some demonstration of the knowledge of Spring Data JPA, how you fetch, how you add, and this thing. Will that be okay? Who are the people who are going to demonstrate or speak a bit of thing? You bring your laptop and try to display, demonstrate whatever you have a little bit of knowledge. Even if you can pick up one simple topic, not necessarily on JPA, you can deliver your knowledge on ORM, Hibernate, this particular Spring ORM. That will also do. Or maybe somebody would like to give me a demonstration on Spring MVC Maven. Maybe on a particular topic called home controller model attribute, anything that you like. If you want to display, if you want to tell me what is a result model attribute, this is a JSP, how you combine this with the controller, that will also do. Any topic you pick up, and please let me, somebody can give me say half an hour demonstration on this Spring Core IOC. Pick up that example and display up to this thing, the entire thing, within half an hour. You do not need to explain a lot of things. And I will think that is a good exercise. If it takes tomorrow and day after, that is fine. And that will also make you prepare for at least delivering something tomorrow and day after. Will that, can you pick up that one?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
Yes, sir.
Any one of you can pick up any topic. You can discuss within yourself. Okay, if Devajyoti is saying something on Spring ORM, let's say Sayantan is speaking on Spring Data JPA on the first two, how you design a JPA repository, or maybe Jagdish can deliver onto something like the Spring Core. It is up to you. It's up to you. Or there can be a repetition also. Doesn't matter.
Sir, any topic, no? I can.
Any topic, but on
Yes.
Spring. On Spring. Whatever best topic you like to, whatever you have prepared the best, I would like you to deliver on that. Anirvan, also you prepare one of the topics for tomorrow's delivery.
So what topic you have to explain?
Huh?
So what topic to explain?
On Spring Boot, any topic, you have to deliver it tomorrow. Deliver it means you have to, like how I say, how I demonstrate, how I take a session. You also pick up a topic, you display it, you take the control of the screen. share your screen and speak out. Explain me. Explain the entire session, entire class. Will that be okay?
Yes, sir.
So tonight you start preparing. You get the entire day today, tomorrow. So up to 3 you prepare, and after that you have your lunch and be ready for your demonstration. Is that okay?
Better 4 p.m. sir.
Is there any problem, Anirban?
Actually, sir, some problem is, sir.
Basically, I'm
Can
not
you-
being able to hear you. Can you speak a bit louder? I never can hear you properly.
Sir, can you keep refer is what's the 4
Can
p.m.
you
sir?
hear yourself? I'm very doubtful whether you can hear what you are speaking yourself.
Sir, actually, can you that to do us question on 4 p.m. sir? 4 p.m.
I can, if I can ask anybody who can hear Anirban and can explain me what he's saying. Anirban, so many people communicate with me, but nobody has any problem of like they are very clear in their voice and what they want to say. Why it is always you that
Sir,
is not
actually, the
very clear?
demonstration.
It is very low in voice.
Okay, sir. Sir, the demonstration you are asking for, okay, can you shift that to 4 p.m. sir?
I am not being able to hear. Can you write it? Can you write it on the chat what you are wanted to say? Hello, Anirban. Can you
Yes, sir, I'm
write it?
writing.
I'm not
Writing in
able
chat,
to
sir.
hear you. Please understand my difficulty. If I cannot listen to you,
Sir, I'm
how can
writing in chat, sir.
how can I answer you?
Sir, I'm writing in chat, sir.
This will be a good opportunity for you to also, because there is a lot of requirement for trainers as well. Okay, everywhere. So you can also aim to become a good trainer, because that is one area where we don't have, not only we, the industry is lacking good trainers. So I would like you to be also look into that, whether if you want to become a trainer as well. Because from the very young age, if you start trying to train in the latter stages, you will see you can earn a lot. And it's a freedom. You do not have to be in a project. You can be a freelancer. You can, because the world is now turning out to be a very unpredictable job life. So why not prepare yourself to become a good trainer? Okay, because today you have a good job, tomorrow you might not have. The world has become very unpredictable. So better to upgrade yourself to be a good trainer. Because training in one thing is that you will not face a lot of challenges. Challenges means of the competition. There is not at all any competition in this area. You just have to build yourself. Can you shift the today's demonstration class towards 4 p.m.? I am not getting you. Today we are not going to have any demonstration from your end. It is tomorrow and day after. So you will show me what you have learned. You can pick up any topic of your liking on Spring Boot. Okay, up to what is being taught today. You can pick up any topic, any small topic, a bigger topic, larger topic, I mean the combination of one or more than one topic, anything you like. But we will devote these 2 days. I will listen to you. You explain me. You can you can show your example and explain the logic, what you have done, why you have done. I will ask you simple questions. That way, it is the best way to handhold and learn and to get an question answer session. Sorry, tomorrow's class towards 4 p.m. Towards 4 p.m. What do you mean? It is from 4 p.m.
Sir, actually, what you say 3 p.m. I want can you shift it to 4 p.m. sir.
3 p.m. What do you want? But the class is
You are
always from
telling
4
me
p.m.
this-
What is the confusion, Anirban? Just let me know. What 4 p.m., 3 p.m. What are you trying to say?
No, sir. Actually, you were sir. You were will be talking that sir actually মানে ক্লাসটা স্যার tomorrow. Hello sir.
I'm trying to listen to you, Anirban. Anirban, we are discussing something else, and you are taking the topic to something else. Do you have any problem in the class from 4 p.m.?
Sir, can you shift it to 6 p.m. sir?
Uh, I'm not getting you. You are not even writing clearly. What do you want?
Sir,
You cannot express yourself. You cannot write
can
also.
you-
A class, can you understand what
Sir,
Anirban
can
is
you-
trying to say? Please, can you help me? I am getting out of my patience right now.
Sir, actually, can you shift tomorrow's 4 p.m. class towards 6 p.m. sir? That I am asking.
4 p.m.'s class too?
6 p.m. sir.
No, we cannot do that. We have to take a class from 4 p.m. because that Zoom ID is not available after from 6. It is going to go to someone else. These are all scheduled.
So, sir, then day after tomorrow, sir, day after tomorrow, can you?
No. It is Anirban. Please talk to the HR department if you have any kind of this thing. I cannot change it just ad hoc
Sir, day
basis.
after.
I am saying, Anirban, please let us not
No, sir,
discuss this
actually-
time thing. Time is fixed. Time is fixed for
No, sir.
what is
I
this,
am not,
Anirban?
I'm
Please
not,
do not disturb the
asking
class
about-
like this. Please, I am begging of you. Please talk to Sunit. If you don't want to attend the class, please do not. Do not ask me to change any schedule for your convenience. If you can't attend the class, please do not. I'm very sorry to say. Okay.
Actually, sir, I want you have told the demonstration class to tomorrow.
See, Anirban, are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Please
Sir,
not
actually-
waste the time over in the class discussing the time of the
Sir,
session.
actually, আমি যেটা মানে আপনি বলেছেন কালকে একটা পরশুদিন বাট ইউজ করতে বলছিলেন।
See, Anirban, tomorrow and day after, it will be the classes will be starting from 4 p.m. like every other day. And there will be 2 demonstration classes. That is, you students, you are going to demonstrate me this. Is this not clear to you?
So clear, sir. I want an extra day, sir. Actually,
Extra day means?
means one day, one day more, sir.
One day more what?
About this demonstration part.
No, why are you deciding all this? Why you are going into that discussion? Let us do the first 2 days. Let us see the progress. Why you are thinking of we are going to take the 3rd day? Why? What is the reason? Tell me.
No, sir. Actually, for preparation, sir. Actually, the preparation, better preparation.
Preparation for your preparation. What? What preparation?
In spring, sir.
So you have not prepared anything. You are not practicing anything. I'm
I'm
just saying that,
practicing.
okay, you don't have to demonstrate anything. You just have to just tell me, pick up any topic and just, you just talk about that. That's all.
Okay, sir.
You can do that, no?
Yes, sir.
Or if you want to take one day, not tomorrow, you can speak on day after. But I cannot say that because of you, I will have to wait for 3 more days.
There's a not 3 more days. I want extra 1 day. Only 1 day. 1 day.
One day what? What extra one day? I am not getting you actually. Can
Sir,
anybody
extra
tell me what Anirban is trying to explain? Because that is a big waste of time. We are wasting. We have already 16:30 today.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Continue with the class, sir.
Huh?
Sir, continue the class.
14?
Sir, continue the class, sir.
Okay. I'm not sure what you wanted. Why extra one day? What is extra one day?
Therefore,
We have
preparation
not even
for
started, and we were just discussing, and you have started on to one extra day. I don't understand your concept of things. People have already started giving me the topics, like Roshan has said, sir, tomorrow I will give demonstration on Spring ORM. See how people are responding. They have grabbed this opportunity. People have to grab this opportunity. And you are discussing of extra day, 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m. I don't understand. Simple thing I have asked, if you can help me, if you can help yourself by giving a demonstration, anything, even if you don't want to show your screen, doesn't matter. If you want to just speak, that will also do. So Roshan has picked up a topic. Tomorrow I will give demonstration on Spring ORM. Very good. Thank you. And Sayantan has said, okay, I will then give the demonstration on Spring Boot JPA. Very good. Fantastic. Both are very latest topics. The people are asking questions on this only. ORM and Spring Boot JPA. Very good. Anyone else? If anyone else is going to, there can be a repetition of the, let's say, Roshan is doing ORM. Even Subhas can also do a part of that ORM. You can prepare your presentation file or not presentation file, like the PPT that I show you. You can prepare something like that. Okay. And you can do that. Or you can directly, you can go to your STS and can demonstrate. You can create a project, or you may have created a project. You just explain the concept. Okay. So tomorrow we will start at least with Roshan and Sayantan. And after that, if somebody has decided today some topic, any Spring Core IOC can also be taken up by someone, or maybe your Spring MVC Maven can also be taken. Like a part of it can be taken. How you configure the configuration part, somebody can tell me. Just the configuration part. What are the things that you do in the servlet XML and the web XML and the Springs properties and the pom.xml. All these things will give you a good understanding. When you explain something to somebody else, your knowledge grows. Okay, that is the purpose. And that will be interesting. If somebody else who has not attended my class also want to join and can participate in this discussion, it's very well. I welcome it. Okay, Anirban, you got it, na? You try to do some topic, small topic, and try to present it. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe day after. That will also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. This will help you. This is the communication part. That is, you have to communicate. In an interview, you have to speak. That is the main thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, let us start the topic today, which is Let me open the project that we were building. So let me open few files. We have to open this controller add phase Java because that is where we were using the JPA controller. Then on the error, we open both the files. One is the main thing. This is the controller advice. And this is the class. This is the annotation. After which you are returning a response entity. Response entity, you will also see in your REST API. What is response entity? It is a class. It's an object. And through that response entity, you are responding back to the client through this with some format. And with the status of HTTP status not found. Anyway, that is actually, it is using the class item not found exception of an exception. So this is the main class, the class, which is actually extending the runtime exception. Fine. Then we open the model and also open the item employee. This is the JPA. This is the class, the interface, which extends another interface, JPA repository, where you will see there are many commands or many functions that is inbuilt within this, and that will be used by whom? Used by the controller. This controller is, this annotation will help, it is like a not format, it is, you can say framework. So this controller annotation helps Spring MVC. It is sort of MVC, Spring MVC. Why? Can anyone tell me why this is called a Spring MVC? It is not particularly some other controller. It is an MVC controller. Why? Because here you are using the controller and nothing but a servlet. This is a servlet. And the view, what is the view? View here,
JSP.
you are using JSP. Yes. And what is the model?
Model is the entity.
Model is the
Entity.
entity. Yes, the model is the entity, which is the container where the data will be stored. Yes. So it is a MVC architecture or the controller. We will see another controller called REST controller that we will learn in the REST API. So that is not exactly an MVC controller, Spring MVC controller. That is a REST API controller, which is, you know, the microservices that you are going to learn afterwards. The microservices are getting exposed over Spring Boot. And these microservices will be accessed by Angular or React or some other front end. That we will learn afterwards. In between learning REST API and controlling REST API, REST API and this end of the Spring data JPA, we are going to give a 2 days gap where you are going to demonstrate whatever you have learned till now on Spring Boot. After these 2 days, we will start the rest. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we are going to do the demonstration. And on Thursday, we will start this REST API. Because in these 2 days, you will be getting enough of your time to go through my old videos on Spring Boot. And therefore, you are up to date. You are in line. You are synchronized. And then we can start fresh with REST API.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can I give a demonstration on auto wiring then dependent ingestion?
Can you write it?
Yes, sir.
If you can write it, I can see. Like Roshan and Shaitan has written it. Can you also write it so that I can know? Subhas, Debanjyoti, and Ashish, also you try to pick up any topic. You not necessarily you have to decide now. You can tell me tomorrow in the group itself. You can give your message such that I can know who is going to present what. Prepare it very well such that it's a very professional preparation. I mean presentation. You see, you start doing all these small things. You will end up, it will be difficult in the beginning, but once you have done it, you will understand the utility, the usefulness of it. It will largely help you. Yes, anyone? Did you?
Yes, sir.
Can I give a demonstration on auto wiring, dependency injection, setter, and constructor? Very fantastic, Animan. Thank you. Please, you can give it. You can give a demonstration on auto wiring, dependency injection, setter, and constructor injection. Very good. That's good. Is it tomorrow or day after?
The day after, sir.
Day after. Okay, no problem. Okay. Let us continue with our discussion. Okay. Now I am there. You see, I have this URL. Through this URL, I'm going to call this controller. And this controller, this URL will call this home function. And it will, whatever this thing, it will actually call this index item P2. Now, let me open that. Index item P2. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if I run it as it is without changing anything, let me see how far it is. So the Spring Boot has started. Let me copy this one. Let me open. So I will say localhost 8080 and then I will paste it. I will press enter. Okay. So we have done fetching all the records and fetching one record by the record ID, right? Okay, let me check whether it's working. Submit. Yeah, it is working. And it is also because we have this application where it is saying that show SQL true. it is saying Spring JPA show SQL true. So it is showing the SQL. And you are in the get item PS2. Get item PS2 is, yeah, here. And we are showing the show items after it has found all. Now, this is what I was saying. This is coming from the JPA, from the repository. And the repository has not defined anything of find all, but it is getting it. So let us go and open this repository. This is the repository. You see, there is nothing. All these are commented out. So we have only one interface that we have created which extends JPA repository. The rest, all these functions are being called from the repository. Repository gives this automatically. So using that, I'm getting all the records. Another one I have exposed is with get item by ID. Now, let me go there. If you see on the query, it is saying get item PS2. That is get IT employees 2. So get item employees 2 is the this one. This is the get mapping. Why? How do you know that this is the get mapping? So we have to go to the index item PS. In the index for find all, fetching all records, it is this particular URL. So you are putting this URL, but not yourself. You are coming from this one. So this one is JPA add fetch. Once you have done this, it is directly going and fetching this. So the URL has changed. You see, it has changed to get employees. Therefore, which is nothing but it is calling this function, this action. This is, remember, this is a submit action. And this action is executed by this function get item PS2 of the controller through the mapping, get mapping this one. And it is showing, it is calling the GSP show item PS. So if I open this, it is saying yes, IT employee list. Let me check. Yeah, IT employees list, which is bold and underline. Bold and underline. Okay. And there is item PS. So because this is the model where you have hold onto all this is the model container. This is the collection where you have put in all the records from the IT employee table. Clear? Now let us proceed further. So these two things we have done. Oh, another thing is here. Here, if you say 1 and submit, you are getting the name Devashish. This is this. Fine. And now you are trying to get 2, which is not there. So you are getting an IT employee record not found. So a message given back to the the user. So the user knows, okay, the record 2 is not there. But it is handled through an exception. And the way you handle it, you have already seen. Now let us expand it. So what are the two things that we have done? Now let me put in. So this is the all records which we have done. This is the just one record using the record ID by AID. Let me open this. One by one, I will go. One by one, I will go. So I have opened this. Let me check. So if I am doing this, then I have to use this function as well. This is adding an employee. IT employee ID, yeah. So this is one record that I'm trying to add after submitting. So I should get the thing in the home controller also. So let me open up that part. What should be the action? Add item P2. So there must be a function get mapping. Yeah, this one. Clear? And this is post mapping, not get mapping. Why? Because you are posting the data into the server, to the server. Therefore, now let me open this. So what are the things that I'm doing? I have expanded the index file. I have added this section more, another form I have added to add an employee record. Fine. And to do that, I have captured this URL and I will be sending that URL through the post mapping. And what does that URL do? And what is the function? The post mapping is an annotation which is going to annotate the function add item P2. This you can give any name. What is this returning? It is returning a string. Basically, that string is nothing but the JSP. That result.jsp is the string. What it is doing? In this attribute, it is getting the model attribute item. Okay. First of all, I'm not giving anything. Let's say if I'm not giving anything, I'm just saying that model attribute. And what is that? What is that I'm getting from index item P? An IT employee record, isn't it?
Yes.
So that object has to be that IT employee. And I'm giving the object name as save item employee, or whatever name you want. This is the object name, but actually the entity is this one. So I am sending from the client to the server the entire record of type IT employee. Clear? I have given this a name. And where do I want to store it? I have stored it into a model attribute because this is an attribute. But I have not given a name initially of that attribute. Let me see what happens. So this is just saving. Here I can say save the record into IT employee table. Okay, just the console output. And there is another one more. This is I have not defined. That is already defined in the repository called the item employee. This is not defined in there also. It is defined actually in the JPA repository. You will not find any save method or no find all method. Clear? That you already know. So I have used the save method of repository, and what I'm sending the object, the entity object. Clear? This save IT employee is of object type IT employee, which I have captured through the parameter. This is I'm sending it as a parameter, which I have captured in this form. Okay, this is the concept of what? Like this is the request body. Basically, it is request body. This is the concept of JSP servlet. You are passing the parameters through the session. This servlet, this is server. This is the server. This home controller is on the server part. And the server is nothing but the servlet. The servlet works on the HTTP request, HTTP response, HTTP request. So response body and request body. These are the two objects which is available over HTTP client. Now this request has come. This request was sent to the server in a request body. And that is what you are capturing as an attribute or this function attribute. And this is what you are passing to the server in this repository to save it. Clear? After this save has been done, you are sending a result. You are returning a JSP file by result. So let us open the result JSP. The result says getting one record as well as saving data to database. Okay. I will use the same JSP for getting the record as well as saving the database. And I'm using an attribute, a variable model attribute. It should be item. And this name is also an attribute, which we have seen over here. This is the model. Here also I have used the model attribute, but I have not sent any attribute. Let's see what's the result. Oh, before that, I need to open my SQL. So, okay, already we have so many records. Let me so this is not deleted. Delete from IT employee where AID equal to 15. What is the mistake here? You are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without a where that uses a key column. To disable safe mode, toggle the option. To disable safe mode, toggle this option in preferences SQL editor. what it is saying.
So in the edit there is a option preference.
Hmm? So it is saying your safe update. I'm not being able to delete it. Why? This to disable safe mode, toggle the option in preference. Oh, reconnect. To reconnect it. To exit and then again reconnect. Let me check what is the state. Okay. Yeah, now it is deleted. So let me check. Yeah, the row number 15 has gone. Let there be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rows. I go back to my this thing and I say save record into this thing. And this is the home controller and the result JSP. Let us work on this. Let me stop this and start again. So now there will be one more section added. I will just refresh it. Yeah, we have added one more, that is adding an IT employee record into the database. Let me start with row number 15 that we have removed, right? We are giving Devashish. We are entering an employee, say, submit. Now you see, you are not getting the record that you have just now entered, right? Can anybody tell me why it is happening? We can go and check the result. This is the result which has been called, this JSP. You have not given actually this one, item. It is not getting the value. We go to the function again. What is the function? Add item P2. You see, if you go there, you see, are you not seeing that add item P2 is there? Add IT employee 2. But in this, it is not getting that attribute because here you have just left it blank. So you have to give that holder name where you are going to keep the entire record. Something that will be, it's a key value, which will refer to that particular item which has been added just now. So what is that in the result? I will copy this. I will put it here, item. I mean, only one IT employee. Now you save it. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
See, already this has been added, I think. Though it is not displayed, but it has added. Yes, it has added. You see, I am going to again remove this. It is removed. So I will check it. Yes, it is removed. I will again add the same thing. But now I will see it. I will refresh this. I will submit this. Now you see this has been added. I mean, you are seeing this on the screen. This is the response body. The response is now through the JSP. This data has flowed down into JSP in the form of this attribute, which is stored in the model as a model attribute. This is the container. This is the model and this is the attribute. So you are giving that annotation. You are saying this is the attribute which will work as a key to the model. And it is stored, it will store the object save IT employee. Clear? By the name item. And that is what you are displaying over here in the JSP format. So the response body comes to the client with this attribute. Up to this clear? And you see, insert, it is actually inserted into IT employee. These are the fields, all the fields, values, whatever, all the 4 fields in the sequence. Up to this is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us expand on it. Now, we will try to, here we had queried every data, find all. Here it is find by ID or get by ID, isn't it? What was the command?
Get
What was
by
the
ID.
function? It was get by ID. So it is fine. Now we are not very happy. We have to have our queries in a particular manner. We will write our own query. We will not depend on, because whenever you are saying find all, whenever you are get by ID means you are giving it, you are not writing yourself. You are saying that select star from IT employee where AID equal to some value. Okay, this is what you are sending it. That is you are asking the JPA to generate this query for you. You are not writing the query, but sometimes we need to, like this is by AID, fine. But suppose if you want to query by a name or by tech, let's say by a name, because see, by JPA by default knows about the primary key and the table name, because all these things you have mentioned over here in the entity. In the entity, you have said the entity name is IT employee. Okay. And the ID is AID. That's all it needs to know. So it will design the find all, find by ID, all by itself. But it does not know the other fields. So in that case, you have to add some functions into here. Let us do one by one. Let us get the record by IT employee name. Fine. I'm opening this. Okay, I will do it one by one. Now, up to this, we have seen how to put a record, post a record in the aligned table, how to query one record by ID, or how to query all the records. Here, I am querying the same IT employee table, but through the name. And I'm going to use the query DSL. It is called the domain specific language. If I want to do something of my own, but I would like to let the JPA generate the query for me. Okay. I will use something from the repo. I'm going to add attribute align. No, not align. What it should be?
item name.
Item.
ITMP name.
First of all, this is the home controller. What I'm trying to return? What JSP?
Result JSP.
Result JSP. So let us consult. It should be the same thing. Okay. So I will keep the same name. That is my important thing to understand. What shall I give?
Item.
Yeah, because
ITEMP.
this record will be identified as an item, because this is what I'm going to display on the JSP. I'm querying a record or number of records from but I'm giving this a name. I mean the attribute name, which attribute is stored under M. But you see, there is one problem. First of all, before I do this, let me explain. The index should give me an opportunity to give the particular name that I want to query, isn't it? So let me open this. Are you getting me what I'm saying? I have to query or get the IT employee record by name. Here I was getting the record ID by ID, which the JPA directly helped me. I did not have to create another function, but here I can have 100 fields in a table. Will the JPA already know? The JPA only knows through two annotations. What are the thing? Through the entity annotation, it knows that the name of the table is IT employee, and another annotation with the ID. At ID, the JPA knows that there is a primary key by the name AID. Does the JPA know any other thing? You tell me. It can give a function called find all because it knows how to find a query, because it knows the table, and it can say select star from this table. Okay. It also knows AID because it is the primary key. It is given by the @ ID. So therefore, it can also query the database by giving the get by ID. How? You say select star from that entity or the table name where AID equal to some value that you have passed. Clear? And it can also save the database, save the data, because you are saving the entire IT employee, which is the entity, and you can have a save function. So you know the insert command also, because in that entity you have all the columns. But this query, you are trying to design a query by name. How will it know by beforehand that you can query by the name? You can query by the other fields as well. So in that case, I have to give the name of the particular name that through which I'm going to query. First of all, this is the one thing that I have to change. This is my on the index. After that, I come to the home controller. No, not home controller. I will have to, okay, yeah. I have come to the home controller because get item by name. This is what index has given me, this action. So I have gone to the controller. I am trying to design. I have got hold of the mapping through this URL. That URL is nothing but the action name by method get. Here I'm designing a function which will return a string, nothing but JSP file name. And then I'm getting get item. This is just a function name. And here I am using a request param. Why? Because I want to pick up the parameter which have been sent by this thing. What is the parameter name here? A name. So the parameter passed over here is string a name. And another thing I'm passing into that function is model. Querying by name or by name. Querying by name. And then I'm using a try catch block. Why? I am doing a try because here I would like to create my own function. But this function has also an algorithm. Algorithm is I am letting the JPA know that please help me with this creating this function. And this function you have to give with a particular format. You have to say find by, capital B by, and then you give the field name. Field name first letter should be in capital. This is the format. Suppose if you wanted to query by tech. So in this case, what will you have this?
Text, sir.
Find by will be constant, because that is how you let the JPA, because JPA cannot automatically know which field you are querying for. It knows by ID. At ID, it knows that anytime it is AID. Find by ID is always the AID. So it has an inbuilt function called find by ID. Find all is fine. Save is fine. But what about if you want to query something else? Then you give find by will be the same. Then you have to say tech. And here you give what? Tech. But here I'm trying to query with a name, the second field. So I will say a name. If you had to do with color, then you have to say by COLOR. And here you mention color, because the field name and the entity name should be, entity field names should be same. Color. Clear? The first letter should be capital. If you do not, you cannot give anything. You have to maintain this syntax. Then only it will work. But another thing is, okay, you cannot say get by. You have to say find by. Find by a name. But still you are getting an underline. Why? Because the method find by name string, find by a name is undefined for the type item employee repo. Because now it is outside the scope of JPA. By default, all the definitions were there, but now you are designing, you are asking for something specific. So you just have to do what? You have to put in that function. So in this, you have to mention a single liner. List, not align. Align is not the, what is the, what should be?
IT employee.
IT employee, the entity name. And also you have to go to IT employee, the entity. You must match the name. If you had given small letter, then this one should be also small letter. This will also be small letter. But I will prefer capital letter, because here I have given capital letter. Okay. Remember this. So entity name has to match. IT employee. So this is the entity. This is the generics. So the list is of type IT employee. Find by name, because this is what you are trying to create. This is your function, user defined function. It is not coming directly from the JPA repository. And you have mentioned the prototype, the string. Now this, because otherwise we had to give, like, you have to give this one because you have to define something. But here I do not need to do. Only thing I have to maintain this syntax. That's all. Followed what I'm trying to say? This is the function. The function return type is list of IT employee. Because whenever you are searching by name, let's say I'm giving a command like this. What happened? Okay, there are two Debashish, right? So whenever you say select star from IT employee where a name equal to Debashish. How many rows are you expecting? One or two?
2.
Two. So two. So these are multiple records.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, I need to have a list. I could have done with the IT employee only, but then I'm not sure whether it can. Sometimes it may return one, sometimes it may report. Let's say Shampa. It will return one Shampa Sandal because it matches only one record like this. Sometimes it can be one record, sometimes it can be more than one record. But I cannot take a risk. I have to say list. It can return multiple. But what was the advantage of AID, searching by AID? That the JPA returned only one record. Because you know that AID is the primary key, so you cannot have more than one matching AID. So there can be any time a one row only returned, right? But that is not the same case with the A name. There can be 10 names of Devashish in an organization. But here the beauty is that, see, I have just declared the function. I have not defined the function, but that is all. The definition of the function, that how the function will behave, is known to JPA. You have left it on the JPA repository. JPA will do the query for you. What will JPA do? JPA repository will frame the query for you. Like what? Like select. It will be a name equal to question mark. For it is question mark. Okay. This is the query that it is going to form. You are not sending the query. Fine. This is called the domain specific. So you leave it on the domain. Domain is the JPA repository domain. JPA will decide what the query will look like. This is one type of thing. So now let me save this. See,
Yes, sir.
what is the thing that I have added? Just if I wanted to query by name, by a name, I have just given this particular function, find by a name. And that is what I have mentioned over here, that I am going to add the attribute item because I want to display it over the result. And from the repo, I'm going to call the function find by a name. Just now, I have created that function. Just I have defined and declared that function. That's all. Just one line I have added, but you will see the magic. Anirban, tell me.
This domain specific language, can you explain again, sir?
Can you speak a bit loud?
Yes, sir. Sir, DSL, domain specific language, can you repeat again?
Domain specific language.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me check. What did I do? I have added this form. This form is giving me an action. In the form, I'm sending I'm giving the align name, not align. It should be IT employee name. A name. So this I have given, and then I have gone to home controller. I have picked up this get mapping, picked up this action, and created a function to service that action. I have picked up the request parameter string name. I have used the model as well. Why model? Because I want to add the attribute item, which is I'm going to display in the result. What I'm going to display? Now I will display the record which I have found by the querying the a name, that particular a name. I have created a function find by a name by matching, because once I give something like this, then only it will work. And just I have mentioned that in the repository, I've said the function is this. The function is going to return a list of type IT employee, and this function is with the attribute a name. This a name is coming from the request parameter. Request parameter string. Let me execute that. Fine. Can I execute? Stop it. Run it. Rerun it. I go here. I refresh this. You will see one more section added. Yes, the last section was added. Querying and getting an IT employee record by name, not by ID. Now let me see. I give what else? Let me query the database. So any name you can take. Omlan Dotto. Okay, submit. Okay, you have got Amlan Dotto. See, it has returned you the one. You go back to here. You see, you have requested homepage, add and fetch. You are actually in the get item P by name, querying by name. You are here, querying by name. You are actually in this action. And Hibernate, what you are selecting, select this, select all, where IT employee a name. Now it is not AID, and that particular a name that you wanted to find. Now let me go back here, and again I come back here. I say refresh, and I say Omlan, but I do not give the full name. What do you expect? What will you expect? Hello? Will you expect a record or will you not?
Sir, no record.
Yes. It will
Huh?
be like
Sir, no
showing a
record, sir,
record.
no record.
No record. Okay. No record, empty record. Why? You can check over here. Select star for IT employee, where a name equal to Omlan. You see, there is no record. Fine.
Yes, sir.
But if you had said Omlan Datto, because you are matching it, the full string, then only you are getting the entire record. Followed? But if you say Debashish, What will you get?
Two
Two
records.
Two records. Yes, ID 1, ID 15. Two records. Okay. I go back there. I say find. So it's working. That it is finding by name but equal to. Another, I want to order it by find by a name, order by AID. See everything coming from the Hibernate. I mean this one. If I say this, I'm getting two records. If I say order by AID, I am also getting two records, but it is ascending order.
Yes,
But
sir.
if I
It's order.
say descending, you see now 15. I want to do this. First of all, I want to do the order by AID and then order by AID descending. So all these things can be done directly by giving a function. So here I will make this off. I will make this on. I'm saying I will give ITMP. Find by a name, order by AID. That means I will just do it by ascending order. This and this doesn't have any difference. But anyway, I am showing you how we are trying to use the power of JPA, but having our own way. Because these are not directly by default defined in the repository, JPA repository. This is based on your customized, but everything will be given by the JPA, only that you are mentioning in a way that find by what? By a name, and then order by what? By AID. That's all. And you give the find by a name for the a name. Let us work on this. But here, this is not available where? On the repo. So I will go and create, or you can do one thing. You say create method find by a name order in the type item employee. You can get it over here. I will just click on this. I'm a bit lazy. Yeah, you see. Okay. I can do this, or I can directly do this like the previous one, what we have done. I will say find by a name. Okay. Find align. Sorry, it will be IT employee and find by a name, order by AID. Initially, I will do with the ascending order. I can put this off. See, one by one I'm adding. I've added into this another function which is user defined by me, but I have followed a pattern. The pattern is find by a name, order by AID. If you give in this order, if you give a name like this, then it is a valid. Otherwise, it will not be a valid function for the JPA repository. And another thing is, I will go to home controller. Home controller. Yes, now it has got this particular defined in the repo. Not defined, declared, basically. So can I run this? Stop and run. because I am using multiple one. Therefore, it is easier to show you. I submit it. You see, you have got ID 1 and ID 15. Both are Devashish. Clear? Now, I want to do it in the descending order. So what I do it fast. I'm in the home controller. I will use this one. Immediately, I will get an error because this is not defined. So how do I define it? I go over here, IT employee, the repo. I will open this one. So I am creating a function find by a name, order by AID, descending order, like what we have done here. AID, order by AID, descending order, DSC. Same thing. That means you are asking JPA to create a query like this. That's all. This Devashish, I'm going to get from the parameter, query parameter. So let me execute this. Oh, it is not giving. Why it is not giving? List. This is list IT employee. Find by a name. Find order by AID. Descending. String a name. It's fine. So let me go to home controller. Oh, this is the problem. Are you getting me?
Yes.
I have to give the attribute, correct attribute, because otherwise how will it show? Here
Yes,
the
sir.
attribute is item. That's the reason. Now you are seeing 15 is coming first, descending order, and 1 is coming last out of the 2 records. Is it clear? Next, what I'm doing is, so this is how you do with the DSL. I would like to do a query annotation using query annotation. Query annotation. What I will do is I will use this one. And I will use a find method a name. Because now I want to create this. Find is not found on the JPA by default. I will create it. But how? I am also not happy with because that is also very constrained, very restricted, isn't it? Like for the example, here, if you give Sampa, you are getting empty, because in that case you have to give Sampa Shanyal. So you are restricted. You wanted to do something of your own. That query also, now you do not depend on the domain specific language. You will put your own query yourself. Okay, in that case, you use the query annotation. So we are gradually going to the better concepts. Here you were only using whatever is available with the JPA. Now you have also used whatever is available in the JPA, plus you have added from some domain specific language, some functions you have added very specific to the domain. That is, you have to give by this: find by a name, find by a name, order by AID, find by a name, order by AID description. I want to do with the query annotation. Clear? So I have to add something. I am using a find command. You can use anything. So you go there. Where? In the repo. I will make this off for the time being. I will use the query annotation. My main method is this one. The method you have to give. What is the method? Find is the method. Okay. Now this is going to return you some list. Either it can be one record or more than one record, right? As we have discussed. But we are also sending the a name as a parameter in the find command, in the find function, and that string is a name. Why you are giving add param is basically whatever you have accepted. This is the placeholder. It is called placeholder. Now let us query for the beginning. First one. This query is an annotation. With this annotation, you are giving what is the query that you would like to fire. Now you are overriding Hibernate. You are doing your query yourself. You are saying that I would like to select star from item employee where name, will it be name or a name? Hello?
So name.
Huh?
What name equal to a name?
It will be name or a name.
Name, sir.
Name, sorry. Name, sir. Name, sir.
Name, sir.
It will not work if you say name, because name is not the field.
Name.
A name is the field. Therefore, it is wrong. Whereas if you give a name, it will work. Then it works. So here it should be a name. Okay. I'm doing the first query, this one. The query says, and do not give any, this is a annotation, never give a semicolon over here. It is wrong. Just without any semicolon, this just as a definition. You are seeing that you go to IT employee, here you are mentioning add entity, you are never given a semicolon. Similarly here, it's a query is also an annotation. Okay. The annotation says that you want to fire a query like this. But using that query to define or annotate the function find. I will save this. I will go to home controller. I will save this. So now the error has gone because you have defined the find. Let me run this. I'm saying Sampa. Okay, submit. What will it return?
No record.
No record. Correct. Because Sampa is Sampa equal to, because the query is equal to, first query is equal to. First query is from ITMP where name equal to. So it will not match because Sampa is not Sampa Sanyal. Here you say Sanyal. Submit. Yes. Now the record comes. See, it is up to you how you design your query. But if you say Devashish, will it match? Will it give 2 records or no records?
2 records.
It is giving 2 records. By default, it is in ascending order. Okay, you could have also given so it's up to you how you design the query. If you go here, you see querying by name. Querying by name, where a name, IT employee a name. Now I have given order by. So you see the query will change. Are you getting interested? I mean, is it interesting? Because you are directly querying the database through the JPA layer, repository layer, DAO layer. The things are getting clear, no? More and more clear nowadays.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm giving Devashish because this is only one record which has multiple. You see now it is 15, and if you go here, you will see order by has come. See, as you design your query. Now I will do something else. I will come here. I will stop this. I will open this one. It's a like. Okay. I will stop this and I don't have to change the function name because function name find is the same. I'm just changing the query. Now I'm giving Sampa. Will it work now? Will it work?
No, sir.
Yes or no? Or Amlan? Will it work?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Oh, but it has worked. How? You have given from item employee where a name like. Okay, let's see. See, when you say I cannot always be perfect with the full name. But I want to see who are the records. What are the records which is starting with Amlan? Here, fortunately or unfortunately, it is only one record. That's why you are getting one. But if there were 50 Amlan, starting the name starting with Amlan, 50 records, you will get all the 50 records because it is saying a name like it is matching Amlan, and the rest you are giving whatever it is by the percent. That is how you are saying that remaining after Amlan, it can be anything. And that is represented by the percentage sign. So like and percent. Clear? Now, I'm saying third query. I'm saying from IT employee where name not like name percent. Okay. If you say name not like, what will it return? What will it return?
Return no record.
It will return no
No
record.
records.
No.
Not.
It is saying select start from IT employee where name not like Omlan percentage. It is saying
Oh,
that I would like to return
Omlan
all the
will be not.
records. Yes.
Only online with the notes, sir. Rest all will.
Rest all will.
will be read.
Only the records which starts with Omlan will not be returned. Rest everything will be returned. So are you seeing Amlan anywhere? No. So leaving Amlan, the rest everyone has been returned. Clear? I want to check that. So see, that is the advantage of having your query annotation. You are designing your own query. So if I save it and start it, I go over here. I go and say Amlan. Submit. You see, Devashish has been returned, Subhashish has been returned, Gyanendra has been returned, and all, but you will not see Amlan. Clear? That is the advantage you have. Another query, let's say, query from IT employee where name not in. Now, this is not like and this is not in. Oh, let me first of all give in. Then only you will. Let me work on this first. And then I will make this not in. First of all, from employee where name is in colon name. Let me go here before I execute that, where name in. With in, you cannot give a percent. Oh, in a query, in a this thing, I have to give a bracket, but in a Hibernate query, I do not need to give a bracket. So remember this. Here, this is fine. Because this, you are just mentioning the command that you are trying to use, but the rest will be taken care. Whether it needs a bracket or not depends on the database, but then it will be okay. Here, if I say, oh, I see in is not like, I cannot give a percentage. So I will give Amlan what? Datta. So am I getting this? It is the in is almost like, but the advantage of in is you can like in equal, you cannot give more than one. Like in equal, you have to give only one value. But here with in, you can specify more than one. And you can mention Sampa, Sanyal, and you can also mention Devashish. So how many records you are getting? You are getting 2 Devashish record, 1 Sampa Sanyal, and 1 Amlandar. That is the use of this one. Okay. So here I'm giving in. Let me check whether it works. Um, Let me check with Amlan first. Amlan, if I give only Amlan, it will not work, right? Blank. Because it has to match the entire name. So it matches, it gives. So in gives. What about Devashish? Will it give one record or two records?
2 records.
Two records. Same way, because it matches Devashish. So in is there. Can I give multiple, say, comma? Can I give like this? Will it match? No. So parameter is a single parameter. Clear? Because it is matching the entire string as a parameter. It is passing one parameter and it doesn't find. If I copy this and go here, it is like I'm saying this one, isn't it? See, you are not getting any record. Because this within code is one parameter. And there is no name in a matching with this. Clear? Anything else? Oh, not in. Not in. A name. So let me again save it. Not in. Let me give Aroti Rajgupta. So I will get everything else. Row number 9. So AID 9 I will not get. 10 I'm getting. Then I'm getting 8. 8 and 10. So 8, 9, 9 is missing. So accepting Arati Gupta, I'm getting everything. Last one, if I want to query like this, where A name greater than A name. What does that mean? I'm saying where A name greater than Devashish. So whichever is greater than Devashish will be displayed. Okay. You see S Subhashish is greater than, Gyanendra is greater than, but there is one, there was one name by Omlan. Omlan cannot be greater than Devashish. So will Omlan be listed? Omlan is not listed, you see. Even if I say Munmun, Munmun, so will Munmun be listed?
No, sir.
Let me
No.
check. Munmun is also listed because Munmun Adhikari is greater than Munmun. And see, Surajit, Subhashish, Sampa. Is Devashish greater than Munmun? No. Therefore, Devashish was not listed. It goes by the lexical term. But if you had said Munmun Adhikari, then Munmun Adhikari will not be listed. You are only getting Subhashish, Surajit, because S is always greater than M. And do you have anything other than S which is greater than M? D is not greater than M, Subhashish greater than M, G is not greater than M, G is not greater than M, Arati is not there, Surajit is there, Abhishek is not there, Munmun Adhikari, yes, Amlan is. So only all starting with S will be listed, which is greater than Munmun Adhikari. Yes. So let us do this as well. I'm tying only Munmun. So you see Subhashish Banerjee, Surajit Sengupta, Munmun Adhikari will be there, and Shampa Sharma. So we come to an end of this topic of query annotations, query DSL, these two topics. Oh, another thing, just 1 minute. If I give something else, will it work? This is the function I'm giving. This function will return. This is giving an error, right? Over here, home controller. So I will change this to please find. Will it work now? I have changed the name from find to please find. Will it work? Yes or no? I'm saying is it working?
Yes.
Yes. So the name, the function name is, you have defined it. Only that you are taking the help of the JPA by using the query annotation. Rest everything, you have not defined this function. You have just you have defined the protocol of this function, the syntax of this function. That's all. The rest is taken care by the JPA repository. Like how will it execute and all the stuff. because this please find is not found in the JPA repository at all. But still, because you have given something with the query annotation, it knows how to interpret this function. Is it clear?
So this query annotation from where I will get this file, sir?
This
Query
is from Spring. Spring is supporting this query annotation. Any annotation like this entity annotation or this auto-wired annotation. All these are supported by, this is coming from model attribute, auto-wired, controller, request mapping, get mapping, post mapping. All these are annotations coming from Spring framework. Spring is helping you. Spring Boot is helping you. Basically, these are also some program. Whenever you are invoking with add post mapping, it is actually calling some class or some program inbuilt within the Spring framework. It's calling particular function. Then that function will try to use that action URL. But this is a function that you have defined. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I will stop the session here. Sir, can you send the today's session now? Anirban, this is the question you have to ask Sunit sir and Anish sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I do not look after all those things.
Okay, sir.
I will send it after I have recorded, and I will send it to Anish and Sunit. They will send you the final version. Because they have to upload into the YouTube, and after that only it is available to the students. Okay. I do it through my Google Share, and I share it to the, from my Google Drive, I share it to them, and they, from there, they upload it to the YouTube, because that upload takes a bit of time, because it has to be converted to the HD format and uploaded. Therefore, it takes time. But you will get it. So can I can stop the sharing. And so for tomorrow, you please prepare Devajyoti and Ashish and Subhash. You can also pick your topic, anything. For this coming 2 days, we are going to discuss, we are going to hear from you. Please do not skip the class. If you cannot present, fine, but do attend. At least, because Shantan and Roshan has already said, Anirban has already said that they are going to present something. It is just a very, don't take it otherwise. It is just for your good.
Sir, can I discuss on the same topic also?
You can discuss on the very same topic. Yeah, of course. Why not?
Or discuss
Yeah, you can discuss on the same topic. You can discuss it in the same way. No matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So think how you will present. It should be a very professional presentation, because there is going to be a recording. Okay, and Alok sir, Sunit sir, everyone is going to see that. So I'm not doing it on my own. I have also consulted them, and they have agreed. Yes, that will be a very good idea. So make it a bit of professional, the best you can. Okay, that's all. Even if you don't want to present any screen, just only speaking will do. You can do that.